Hello everyone! I'm a few minutes late. I was on my other phone and the Facebook Live logo wasn't there, so I had to run. Luckily, we have a backup phone. So it's all good now. Oh, the brightness is really low. I'm going to just fix this really quick. We'll see if anyone jumps on. If not, I have some preset FAQs about becoming a LuLaRoe consultant, so I'm going to start with those, and then if you guys have any questions, you can just type them right in the box. And hopefully this will answer some questions. So I'm just going to wait a minute. I'm still trying to turn up my brightness on this. I don't know if I can. Phew. Okay. So much better. Okay. So I hope you guys are enjoying your lunch. It's about noon right now. And I'm at home today. I work at my office job Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm home. Right now it's Monday. It was Tilly's first day of school. Kindergarten. Neither of us cried. I was pretty impressed. So, kind of an emotional day, but we're doing well. So, I think I'm just gonna jump right in. Say hi if you guys are watching. Looks like a couple of you are, but I can't tell who. So, hi Heidi! Yay! Alright, so I figured this session, I know not everybody wants to become a LuLaRoe consultant, but I figured some of you just might be curious about how the process works and what, just curious to like peek behind the scenes. So I thought I'd just give you a little insight. Hi Lori! Yay! You guys are both down in Orange County. I bet it's warm there. It's really foggy and freezing here. Yay! Okay. So I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. I have a few frequently asked questions that I'm just going to go through. I have these saved up with answers on my website, but I know not all of you are familiar with that, so I'll just go through those, and then if you have any other questions, feel free to type them in, and I'll try and, I don't know if I'll answer them as I go or save them for the end. I don't know. It's just kind of conversational, so. So the first basic question that people always ask, oh my gosh, it's over 100. That's crazy. Tilly wore a puffer jacket to school. Isn't that weird? Crazy. Okay, I hope you have air conditioning. Alright, so the first question a lot of people ask is usually just like, okay, tell me how it works. Every time I have an open house and people come over, they're always like, where do you get these clothes? They ask all kinds of questions. So basically, as a LuLaRoe consultant, I buy clothes at wholesale prices from LuLaRoe. I don't get to pick the print, but I get to pick the style and the size. So I place an order and I say I want 3 large Irmas, 4 extra small Irmas, 1 Randy, 10 pairs of leggings. You have to actually buy at least 33 pieces. But anyways, I place an order like that every week. And then they send me the box and it's like Christmas every time. It's super exciting and you open it up and you see what prints you got. And also LuLaRoe only prints 5,000 of each print, 5,000 pieces in each print. So they're super, that kind of sounds like a lot, but when it's spread out over 25,000 consultants, people are buying stuff every day. It's like these prints are really, really rare. So whatever I get each week, I'm probably never going to get it again. So it's really cool. So I order the pieces from LuLaRoe, they ship them to me, and then I sell them both online and in person. So I take pictures of every single piece, file them away. I have like this great bin storage system in my small apartment here in San Francisco. And then I post them every day. I can post them whenever I want, however I want. I like to do it just once a week on Saturday mornings, as you guys know. I try and keep that really consistent, so that works best with my schedule. I can post them Saturday morning and then go about my day, and then Sunday night usually I take everything down. So I do that, and then I also like to do in-home pop-ups and open houses here at my house. So there's lots of different ways you can sell LuLaRoe. So that's basically how it works. So once I buy the clothes from LuLaRoe, I become the owner of those pieces. And then it's up to me to sell them to you guys. So it's not like I have them for a week and then I send it back to LuLaRoe. No, once I buy them, they stay here in my apartment until I sell them. So that's kind of how that works. Let me know if you have any questions about how the process works. So then I invoice you guys, or I invoice the customers, and they pay me directly. And so it's up to me how I want to spend the money I get on that. So we'll talk later about how I pay myself and things like that. So and then I process the money through the LuLaRoe system, like you guys get the invoices through LuLaRoe, and then they pay the sales tax for me, luckily, because I have no idea how to do that, to the state, and then they take a small processing fee like any credit card processor, and then they deposit the rest of my money straight into my bank account, direct deposit, and I get deposits every single day. So that part is pretty sweet. Okay, so that's basically how it works. If we have time at the end, I have my whole sales process typed up on my website, and I can walk through that too and really give you guys the nitty gritty of what each and every step looks like. So we'll see how much time we have. Okay, so Lori's asking if I have any trouble selling a particular piece, what do I do to get rid of them? And I'm going to talk about that later, but I'll just answer it now anyways. So yeah, sometimes there are hard to sell pieces, although it's funny because some things that I think are super cute will stay in my inventory for weeks, and some things that are definitely not my style will sell right away. So it's important to get out of that mindset that like a certain style isn't going to sell, because you never know what kind of tastes are out there, and that's part of the greatness about LuLaRoe. But so you're asking if you eventually clearance them to help get them sold. And here's how that works. So LuLaRoe doesn't allow us to sell things below the price they set. So like, excuse me, Irma is $35, and I can't advertise it for lower than $35 online. I can sell it for lower in person, or I can message you and say, hey, this Irma is actually 10% off this weekend only. So, like I can tell you the discount on the side in a personal way, but I can't advertise it for lower than that in my Facebook group. So, I can clearance things that way, although the good thing about clothes is that they don't actually expire. I still have some Valentine's Day leggings hanging around from February, but luckily they're going to be good next February, and I can actually post them earlier than the other Valentine's Day leggings come out. So I'm actually excited about, maybe January 1st I'll start advertising those, but I have those just stored away until next February. So the good thing is, if this isn't like I'm selling, food or anything else that expires, clothes are good forever. So there's not really that pressure to clearance things, so you move them along. But you can if you want. You can send out, sometimes I send out emails if I want to have a sale on a certain style, to just kind of clear things out so that I can order more and freshen things up. That's totally fine too. So I hope that answered your question. You can also return things to LuLaRoe, but they take a 15% restocking fee. So to lose 15% of your income, and then you have to pay for shipping back, right? And then you never know what they're gonna get, so then you can return it and they'll like replace it for you, but you never know what you're gonna get back. So it would be horrible to return something and then get something equally challenging back. You never know. So returning it to restock, and also like, I've actually never done that, but I hear that sometimes it takes a while for them to send you a replacement. It just kind of sounds like a hassle. So, but anyways, that is an option too, returning it for 15% restocking fee. So the next question I have here is, how many hours do you normally work and how much do you make each week? Yeah, Missy, I'll talk about that next. So when I started, I was working about 20 hours a week, but I've gotten pretty good at streamlining that, and now I work about 12 to 15 hours a week. And pretty much all of that is in the evening after my kids go to bed, or on Saturdays and Sundays too. So that time is spent, taking pictures, staying in contact with my customers. I post on my page every single day, as you guys know. And the funny thing is, so much of this business is done straight from my phone. So like, I would walk Tilly into preschool and come back and sit in my car at 9 o'clock. And then, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I usually post in the group right around 9 o'clock, because that's right before I drive to my office. So I walk over to preschool, sit in my car, like kind of, check in with you guys, and then I drive to work and put my phone away while I'm working. And then sometimes I'll check in on my lunch break too. So um, it's cool how much of it you can do from your phone. And so I usually make about, I mean, how much you make is, obviously dependent on how much you sell. But the breakdown I have is so let's say, I make a certain amount of money each week. I take 50% of that and I reinvest it towards more inventory. Excuse me, more inventory. Um, our markup is about 50%, so that makes sense. So that everything I sell, about 50% of that is what I paid for it. So I've already paid off what is behind me. So I'm going to take 50% of what I made and place it towards more inventory. Then I take about 5 to 10% for business expenses. So that's like, packaging supplies, memberships for like my QuickBooks. I have to pay a membership for that, and different little business expenses. So it's about 5 to 10% for that, and then I save 10% for my income tax. So LuLaRoe pays my sales tax, but I save 10% because when it's come to pay taxes on what I make, that's what I spend 10% on. And then I keep 30% as personal, as what I pay myself. So I write myself a check every week from my LuLaRoe business account to my personal account, which is a really fun thing to do. So usually that's between $500 and $600 a week, which is like super awesome. It's like really been super helpful for our family. So I think I calculated that out, and it broke down to about $33 an hour, which is like awesome. This is like so much fun, and to think that I make that much money is really such a blessing in our life. And then on top of that, I'm also a sponsor, so I sponsor other people to become consultants, and so I make 5% on what they buy from LuLaRoe. So it's not coming out of their account, but LuLaRoe calculates it and pays me 5% of what they've purchased from LuLaRoe. So and once you get 10 people on your team, then you become a trainer and you make a little bit more also. The compensation bonus check thing is a little bit complicated, but the bonus checks come once a month and they're super awesome. And by the way, I just became trainer, yay! And also when you become trainer, you get this beautiful gold watch, which is actually giant on me. I still need to get sized, but I'm super stoked on that. So the bonus checks are really awesome too. Okay, and there were a few questions that came in, so I'm going to answer those now. So Missy says, can you tell me about what kind of camera and lighting system you use? Yeah, so I only use the camera on my iPhone, and I only use natural lighting. So we live in this apartment where every single window faces west. We live across the street from a park, so there's no buildings to block the light. So I just take all the pictures in my bedroom. I have to rearrange the furniture in my room to do it. I just have to move the pack and play out of the way. Our 1-year-old daughter still sleeps in our room, so I have to move her pack and play. I have usually hats hanging on the wall, and I take all the hats down, throw them in the pack and play, and then I scoot that over. And then yeah, I just use my iPhone. I actually have a whole tutorial that I did for our team about how to take pictures, so I could share that with you because I have lots of tips and tricks about brightening it, cropping it just right. Lately I've been using an app to put the size thing on digitally instead of having the size label taped on the wall, which I think looks pretty nice. So so if you don't have natural light, the lighting system I recommend is on Amazon. It's called like the Cowboy Lighting Kit, and it folds up really small, and then you kind of pop it open. It's like those umbrellas where it reflects the light, and you can get a nice backdrop if you want, or you can just use a plain wall. I always prefer the plain white wall look. So if you want to message me, or maybe I can post in this later, but I can put a link to that to that Cowboy Lighting Kit too. And yeah, I just use my iPhone to take all the pictures because I just don't like having to transfer things. So they're in my phone, and then I upload them from my phone into Dropbox, and that way I can access them through Dropbox on my phone and also on my laptop. And then once I put them in Dropbox, I can delete them from my phone, and it clears up my phone storage, because I also take zillions of pictures of my kids, as you guys might know. Okay, so Angelica is asking, I mentioned I live in an apartment. How do you store the clothes? I sent my application in earlier this month and live in a one-bedroom apartment, so I'm trying to figure out how to store the clothes. So I'm not going to give you guys a tour today, but I do have a YouTube video of myself giving a tour of my apartment and how I store everything. So I'll also post that here afterwards, and I'll tag you, Angelica. I just keep it all in bins. Yeah, we have a 2-bedroom apartment, but there's 4 people living here. We don't have a garage. We don't even have parking spaces, by the way, which is super annoying to me. But we love our apartment and we love our neighborhood. So this is funny because my darling husband just decided to rearrange all of my LuLaRoe stuff without asking me. So we're still kind of working through that. That's why I'm not going to give you a tour right now. But so at the moment, I have 6 drawers of LuLaRoe stuff in the hallway. These are like plastic pull-out bins, and they're all labeled by style. Then I have a whole cabinet full of leggings in the hallway, and those are on different shelves by size. Then in Tilly and Lua's room, I have 4 more drawers next to their dresser, and then in their closet, I have 6 more drawers. So that's kind of how I have it set up right now, and it works just fine. Okay, one more question came in. Holly would love to see the photography tutorial. Cool. Yeah, that at the moment is I just did a Facebook Live training in my consultant group there's like 19 people on my team. So it's just for them, but I need to upload it to YouTube because I can show everyone. It would be great. Even if you're not on my team, I just want to share the love. And Missy would love to see the tutorial also. Okay, so Melissa says taxes at the end of the year intimidate her. Did I get someone to do them for me? So I just onboarded December 27th. So I had like a little bit of a loss on my personal income for this part. So that's going to be a whole new world for me in come December or April. It's on my list to get a tax accountant. I haven't done it yet, but I'm like for sure going to do it because I need to, and everyone's situation is different, so I need someone to work with me directly on my stuff. But I know other people on my team who have done this for years who've always saved 10%, and they say that that's like almost exactly how much they owed in taxes. So I'm pretty confident with that, and I've been saving really well. So that's and I've also been keeping really good track about business expenses. So much of this applies as deductions. So like all of your shipping costs, all of your supplies, all of your basically everything. Everything you spend money on counts as a deduction. And even, gas or mileage going places counts as a deduction. We have a really good tutorial in our group, a Facebook training about the business nitty-gritty kind of stuff by a girl named Brooke. So that's something that I always tag my new consultants in. And she has an awesome spreadsheet you can download, and it's super cool. One thing I love about LuLaRoe is that so once you onboard, you get added to Facebook groups for every single person in your upline. So for me, that's like, I think 5 people above me that go back to the beginning of LuLaRoe. LuLaRoe is 3 years old. So there's 5 people above me. So each of them have great Facebook consultant groups that are full of tutorials and like all kinds of tips and tricks. And you can also post questions in there, and there's like, hundreds and hundreds of people that can answer your questions for you. So really great resources there. So let's see. Holly's asking, do you do pop-ups? What do you do when you need to hang everything on the racks with space? Yeah, that's such a good question. So I've done pop-ups both ways. Sometimes I've gone and I hung up every single piece. I have 3 rolling racks, and I hung up everything, and then I just laid my leggings out. I've also done pop-ups where I keep a lot of the stuff in bins and I only hang up dresses and like the Lindsay's and Sarah's. And because like if you go to a store, like if you go to J. Crew, not everything is hanging up. If you go to Old Navy, lots of stuff is displayed really nicely on tables and nice stacks by size, and like it's a perfectly acceptable way of laying out your inventory. So whenever I'm doing anything with LuLaRoe, I try to not compare myself to other LuLaRoe consultants. I try to compare myself to actual stores. So when I'm trying to take my pictures, I try to think like I try to base my pictures off of the old anthropology pictures where they had the nice wooden coat hangers and a plain white wall. Oh, we lost it for a minute, but we're back. Um, so similarly, I try to do my pop-ups similar to other shops. So I think it's totally okay to just hang up just your dresses and fold everything else nicely. That saves me so much time and so many coat hangers. I kind of like doing it that way. So however you want to do. Um, that was Holly's question. Edlin is asking, you say you live in the Bay Area, and what kind of business license did you get? If you're just doing it by yourself, you don't need to get a business license. You could do a LLC, which is a good way to protect you, limited liability. So if something were to happen, this is how someone explained it to me. If someone were to sue you, they would be able to only access your business assets, not your personal assets. So that's something that some people do. I actually haven't done any of that, and it's all totally legal and fine. So let's keep going. So Holly says, do you just hang everything up and put it back in the bins when you get back? Yep, that's what I've done. I've also done pop-ups where I'm like kind of at a vendor event, and people may not be buying a ton of stuff from me. So sometimes I'll just bring one of each piece of each style, and it's more like I'm just here to do like a demo. So in those cases, yeah, I'll just do like a really limited thing, and I'm there just to kind of let people see the product, try them on, learn their size. But they're not necessarily going to be, they can buy stuff too if they want, but sometimes I'll just do smaller pop-ups. Like we had like a neighborhood Main Street Mamas, Hate Street Mamas bunny hop where I just brought a very limited selection, and it was a great way to get my name out into the neighborhood, but I didn't have to bring 450 pieces. So that's always an option too. Okay. So Jill is asking, do you decide what they ship to you and the quantity of the goods, or is it a set amount every week that I'm responsible for? And do you have to pay for the goods out of pocket? And do they ship? Great questions. That's on my list too, but I'll answer it now. So I do get to decide what styles and how many things I want. So LuLaRoe actually carries like 20 styles, and it's up to me to decide which ones I want to carry. So like there's a couple more skirts that I've decided not to carry in my shop, and there's some more kids items and another man's shirt. So I've my selection is something that I chose to carry for you guys, and so I think I said this earlier, but yeah, so you have a minimum of 33 pieces per order. You don't have to order that every week, but every time you order something, you have to order at least 33 pieces. So I usually fill that. I usually go through what sold, and I just replace it with, replace those items. So I'll just go through my list of what I sold, and I'll get, like 2 extra small Irmas, a medium Randy, 4 large Nicoles. I just go through like that, and I don't get to see what the styles are, but I get to see, I get to tell them the sizes, and the styles. I don't get to pick the print, but I get the sizes and the styles. So you're not responsible for selling any, a certain amount every week at all. You could definitely take weeks off, go on vacation, blah, blah, blah. You do have to place an order of 33 pieces per month for 3 months to stay active. So if you don't place an order of 33 pieces per month for 3 months, then your account may be suspended. I've never actually heard of that happening, but that's what it says in their policies and procedures. So 33 pieces is not that challenging to sell or buy, but that's the rule. And then do you have to pay for goods out of pocket? Yep. So I usually take 50% of what I made the last week and I'll place that towards a new order. And yeah, they ship for free. So you can also, if you live, they're based in Southern California, so shipping to San Francisco usually just takes a day. Um, so it's pretty cool. And you want to see what my bins look like. So I bought them at the Container Store. Um, I'm not going to show them to you right now, but I'll post that video. They're in my YouTube video about how I store everything. Thanks, Ollie. I appreciate the compliment. Have I grown my Facebook group and do I have advice? So I started with just adding friends and family, and I feel like a really good key is having a hostess in your group each week. You really want you want to get brand new people in your group each week because they're going to be loyal to you. You're the one that introduces them to LuLaRoe. So and they want to shop with their friends. It's really fun to just see what other people are commenting on, ask questions, be like, oh hey, this matches your Irma that you got last week, and just I love the interaction on the page. So it's really good. So when people add their friends, this becomes like a social place for them to hang out. So that's always the best way to do it, is to get a hostess, try to get a hostess every week, and then have her add at least 30 friends every week. That's really been my go-to. Yeah, so let's see. I have some other questions over here, if you guys don't have any. Thanks, Danielle! Good to see you. Okay, so someone asked me, or here, I don't want to quit my other job. Am I able to do this while also working a desk job? And the answer for that is totally. Well, it really does depend on your personal capacity. But so I work 3 days a week. My schedule actually just changed this week because my daughter started school and I'm kind of shuffling things around. But for the last 8 months, I've been doing this where I've been working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at my desk job, which I really love. I work for the International Society of Arboriculture, by the way. I'm a certified association executive, so I take care of tree professionals, and maybe some of you out there are arborists who are watching. But anyways, that's what I do 3 days a week. I do fundraising, and I produce a magazine, and I do member services and marketing and all that kind of stuff. So it's super fun. And I don't want to quit. I really like it. So yeah, it works for me. I know people who are teachers who do this on the side also, and people who are nurses, so they work, 2 overnight shifts a week, and they have kids, and they also do this. So it's really cool because they always say, you don't work for LuLaRoe, you make LuLaRoe work for you. And it's your business, you can operate it however you want. So, super cool. So the next question is it up to the consultant to decide which days you sell on, or are new consultants assigned sale dates and times? So I just put in some questions that other consultants have asked me before. And the answer to that is totally. You can sell it however, whenever you want. The only thing I recommend is that you keep it on a certain schedule every week so that your customers always know. If you're like, oh, I think I'm going to have a sale tonight, not that many people are going to show up because they need to have a lot of notice in advance. And so like my customers know every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, I'll be posting my stuff. So I try to keep it super consistent, but it's up. I set that time myself. You can do it however you want. Also, some people don't sell online at all. Some people only do pop-ups, which is probably much easier for inventory management because you don't have to go through and delete what's sold. I like to do both, mostly online, but you can do it however you want. How many consultants does LuLaRoe have? This person looked at the website and found a map of consultants and was really intimidated by that. So the last time I looked was last month, and we had 25,000 consultants. Like I said, LuLaRoe is 3 years old right now. So 25,000 consultants, I don't know, that might sound like a lot, but my mom and my sister are both unique presenters. They sell unique makeup. They have like the really amazing mascara. I'm not wearing it, by the way. I oftentimes do wear it, but I'm not wearing much makeup at all right now. But they have 425,000 consultants, and they all sell exactly the same product, right? Every single thing is the same, and they're all doing great. Maybe not, I mean, I don't know all of them, obviously, but like, it's a perfectly great company to work for. And we only have 25,000, and every person's set of inventory is completely unique. So, like, the fact that I actually shop from other consultants in another company would be absurd, right? But all of us have our own unique business. So, I mean, I love the way they set it up because we're not competing with each other because we all offer slightly different stuff, which is really cool. We can all share customers. Thanks, Elizabeth. She says she loves knowing that my sale is at the same day and time. It's so funny to think that for the last 8 months, I've spent every single Saturday morning posting my LuLaRoe sale at 9 a.m. That's like mind blowing to me. I think I've taken maybe like 3 weeks off, but that's pretty incredible. I like consistency in my life, so pretty cool. We answered the next question already. Does LuLaRoe provide online marketing and sales tips for consultants? And this is cool. Yeah, every Tuesday they have a webinar with different. So like within my consultant team, there's lots of people who we like train each other. Like I was saying, I did a webinar about how to take pictures, and I also just did a webinar recently about Instagram because like they asked me to do a training about how to pose on Instagram, which is like so funny, but um, I taught our team of 200 consultants the way I do my Instagram, and it was super fun. So, but yeah, LuLaRoe, like in general, also does trainings on Tuesday, which is really cool. They have tons of marketing material for us there's like a group um, Dropbox folder sort of in the LuLaRoe back office website where you can download all of the different professional photos and collateral that you're welcome to use. A lot of times I prefer to use my own pictures because I think when it comes to branding, the best asset that I have is just myself because it makes me different from every other consultant. So I try to put as much of myself into everything as you can because it really sets it apart. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but here's my face. You look at it a lot. Okay, so they help us with marketing and sales tips. We've answered the next questions, and the next person says, who do you use for shipping and do you get special rates? So yeah, I use a company called Shipping Easy, and it's a $30 fee every month, but they do give me a bulk rate discount. So shipping is cheap, is not way cheaper, but a little bit cheaper for every single shipment. Cheaper than it would be if I walked into the post office and paid. So it's definitely saved me more than $30 a month using that system, and it's great. So when you guys fill out the checkout form every week, I download that from my Google Forms, and then I can upload it to Shipping Easy, and they, you tell them what the different titles are, and it matches it all up, and then you can just like boom, you tell them how much it weighs, if you want priority or first class shipping. Hi Josh. And then it fills it all in for you, and then it just spits it out in my label printer, and it automatically charges me through the credit card I have saved there. So like the shipping thing is pretty sweet. I really like it. So let me know if you guys have any more questions. I'll just talk about the application process a little bit next. So right now the wait to join is about 6 to 8 weeks. When I joined, I think it was about 1 week, but there's a pretty long list of people wanting to join LuLaRoe, and they don't want to just let everybody in at one time because they would clear all the inventory out. So when you join, you have to pay $5,000-ish, and that gets you about 300 pieces to start your shop with. So it's kind of similar to like buying what is that called? Like a Subway, I forget the word, but a franchise, that's it. So all this money just goes straight towards your inventory, and that helps jumpstart you. You can't just start with like 10 pieces. You have to start with 300 pieces. and I think it covers 5 or 6 different styles. You can also buy more than that if you want, but $5,000 gets you about 300 pieces. That's like the minimum to start with. Um, so you turn in your application, which is basically you just like sign a contract, and you email it in, and you send in a voided check. That, or you can just tell them your bank account number if you send in a bank statement or something. So that tells them where to deposit your money into, and then at that point I'll add you to a couple of different Facebook groups that are called like queue clubs. You're in the queue, you're waiting. Um, so you don't get charged then. So you wait for about 6 to 8 weeks, and then you get your call. During that time, it's a great time for like homework. So there's lots of stuff to help get you prepared. You can watch all kinds of tutorials. You can set up your LuLaRoe room if you're lucky enough to have a whole room for your LuLaRoe inventory. You can buy all your supplies, get your Facebook group started, get your Instagram going, blah blah blah. So 6 to 8 weeks later, then they give you the call, and you place your initial order. That's when you have to pay the $5,000 or whatever the exact total is. Um, and then they ship out your stuff. In about a week you get it, and then you get started. So it's really cool. So like a lot of times people are thinking about it, they're not sure, but they just like fill out the application and they send it in. And then it's cool because they have 6 to 8 weeks to really think about whether or not, you don't have to pay the actual money for 6 to 8 weeks. So I've had some people turn in the form and then change their mind, and that's totally fine. It's a huge decision. So then once you get started, then I have all kinds of new consultant things to get you started, and I tag you in a zillion webinar videos, and answer your questions all 2 in the morning, 8 in the morning, whenever we're in constant contact. And you get started, and you have your launch, and then you're off. So it's super cool. So Holly is asking, how many pieces do you carry? Right now I have like between 400 and 500. I know a lot of people carry way more than that, like over 1,000, and that's actually like probably ideal. I just don't have space for it. So I just work with a much smaller inventory, and that's how it works for me. And someone's asking, is it possible to keep all of your inventory in bins and not racks? Totally. That's how I do it. I keep everything in bins, and I keep my leggings in a hall closet. Um, and I have a video I'll post here about how I store all of my inventory. I probably made the video like 3 or 4 months ago, so I actually do it a little bit differently now. But I mean, basically just like the bins are stored in a different place, but it's all still done the same. So I file my clothes. I fold them basically into like, nice little rectangles, and then I file them like this in the drawer. So that it's instead of like this, it's like this, so that I can like, boop, 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 pull out the right one. If everything was filed like this, if I look from the top, I'm not able to see everything. This is what I learned from this book. I thought it was right here. The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. Have you guys read that? So it's called the KonMari style of folding things, and you can fit a ton of things in your drawer, and you can easily access everything in it. So that's how I store my LuLaRoe drawers, and I'll show you the video. I'll post it at the end of this. So let me know if you guys have any other questions. I'll also post a link to my website, marypendleton.com, with the FAQs typed up, and then kind of the business overview. Oh yeah, so I think I'll go now through my weekly sales process, and I'll just tell you guys like step by step what I do. I think I'll stay on for about 10 more minutes. So basically, I get my box, I open everything, they all come in plastic bags, I open everything up and I set them out on my bed. So my bed is like, my work surface. So I set them out on my bed by size. So I go extra, extra small, small, extra small, blah, 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 all the way through. And then like I said, I kind of take all the stuff off my wall, I move the pack and play, and then I take each picture. So I hang it up. I try to take my pictures with jewelry on. So I usually have the same necklace hanging on the coat hanger, and I hang it up, and then I fold it, and I put everything like, I take all the pictures by size, and then when I lay them back down on the bed, I sort them by style, so that I basically do it by size so that I can have the same little watermark, the same little like size label. I don't have to change that every time, because if I went by style, I would have to like redo it every 3 or 4 pieces. But this way, if I do it by size, I can do all my smalls at the same time, and they all have that same little label. So anyways, I take all the pictures and I put them back in piles by style, and then I go store those styles away after I take the pictures. And then from my phone, I upload them to Dropbox. I go into the Dropbox app and I say upload pictures. And then I go to my laptop and I rename everything. I kind of sort through the pictures, put them in the appropriate folders. I have folders for each style. And then I name everything by the size, so that they all go in order and they're all like together with other people of their size. Other pieces of their size. And I also, after I do that, I'll edit my Google checkout form. I try to do that every week, change who the hostess is, change the name of the hostess, edit my pickup times depending on how it's going to be that way, that week. So I update my Google checkout form, and then when it's time for the party to start, some people use a website called Publer. It's actually superpubler.com, and that way you can schedule your parties. But sometimes I just like to be like a little bit more in control, so I just like to do it live. So I upload the pictures to my parties right at 9 a.m. Usually it takes me about 30 to 45 minutes. And then people start ordering, and it's super cool, yay! And so at the end of the sale, I post detail shots, I post pictures of myself wearing the clothes, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the sale, I go through and I screenshot every single item that's sold, and then I save it in my folder, my sold folder, and I title it as the customer's name. I actually title it as the customer's name and what it is. It's just like a good reference for later. And then I can alphabetize it, and what each person bought is grouped together, right, because it's in order of their name. And then if I sort by date, then all the styles are together, because that's the order that I screenshotted it in. So it's a good way you can sort it either by style or by size. I screenshot it on my laptop. On your iPhone, if you pull up the image, you don't also get to see the comments at the same time. So if I'm on my laptop, I have the image of the piece and also the comments. They're like right next to each other. So then my laptop has this screenshot app built in, but I don't know, you could probably download one too. But not on my phone. I do it on my laptop. And then at that point, I review all the responses on my checkout form. I tag anyone who forgot to fill out the checkout form. You guys know who you are. And that works out well. That's usually Sunday night. Then I tally up what I sold and what their money is, and I have this cool little spreadsheet where I type in how much money total I will be making that week. And then I plug it into, so I told you guys my formula, like 50% to reinvest, 10% for business, 10% for taxes, and 30% for myself. So then Sunday night when I go to bed, I know how much money will be coming in that week, and it's like the best part of the week, of course. And so then once everything has been paid, I generate my shipping labels on Shipping Easy, like I told you guys earlier, and I print those in alphabetical order always, because then when I print the label, it works out with my Dropbox in alphabetical order, and I pull the orders. So actually I label all my envelopes first, and then I go pull the order, because putting the labels on after the items are in the envelope is really like wrinkly. So I like to label the mailers while they're flat. That's just something I learned along the way. Then I pull all of the orders from my storage bins, and once everything is paid for, I schedule a USPS. That's right, cool, Drea. Then I schedule a USPS pickup, so I don't have to carry everything all the way to the post office. Like I said, I don't have parking here. carrying everything to my car with my 2 kids in the morning is not a possibility. So at the end of the night, I always do this on Monday nights. My very last thing before going to bed is going to USPS.com, schedule a pickup. I tell them how many priority and how many first class, and then the next morning I just drop everything off down by the mailboxes in our apartment building lobby, and then they pick it up sometime that day. So it works out pretty well. Then I go through my inventory and I delete all of the items that were sold so that next week they're not there anymore. And then I send payment reminders if there's anybody that's outstanding. And then the week starts again. I add my new inventory, take pictures of that stuff again, and I also order more clothes as soon as I can. So I order exactly what was sold the week before. So a lot of people recommend having like 4 pieces per style per size, so that's always a good goal to work towards. Hi Mama. So a lot of some people have like 8 pieces per style per size, but that's not a reality for me. So 4 per style per size is pretty good. Sometimes I do less than that, but I'm working on it. So that's pretty much my weekly process. I have it all typed up, and I even have it like down to the day what I do each day. I'm like all about processes and like streamlining things, having to-do lists, not having to reinvent the wheel every week. So I have this whole weekly sales process typed up on my website also if anybody wants to look at it. But anyways, I'm really interactive with my team page also. We're called the LuLaRoe Golden Girls. And like I said, there's 19 people in my team now. And we do like all kinds of goal setting and holding people accountable for their, checking in on their goals, seeing how they're doing. People ask questions and give cool advice every day. So it's a fun little community to be a part of. And you say, do you make more than 1 order a week at 4 pieces per size and style? I pretty much just order once a week, but I know a lot of people, if they're ordering a ton, will order, if you order a huge thing, if you order a ton, when they're pulling your order at the warehouse, you might get a lot of duplicates because they're only pulling from the one bin that's there. So a lot of people like to break their order into as many orders as possible. So every 33 pieces, they'll place a new order so that maybe they'll place a new order every day or even spread it out by 5 hours or something. If you are going to order 66 pieces, sometimes it's better to break that into 2 orders. Shipping's free, so who cares if you do it in smaller orders. But that way you'll eliminate the possibility of getting a ton of duplicates. And Elizabeth says, how do you manage the giveaways in your accounting? So I mean, all of the giveaways are a tax deduction. So now that I have my handy dandy Google Doc for my winners. So every time somebody wins something, I have them fill that out. And so it's a great way. Then I go in and I enter the dollar amount of what that piece's value was. So I have a running total of how much money I've given away so far, how much inventory I've given away. Then I do enter it in the back office so that it keeps my inventory process going. It keeps my inventory up to date in the LuLaRoe invoicing system. So I'll just enter it in and I'll just discount it 100%, so it'll go in at $0, but it will still update my inventory so that I know that one piece is no longer there. Any other questions? You can feel free to tag me in this later on. It's been almost an hour. So I'm going to go back to cleaning my house because that's a big goal of mine today. And Tilly gets out of school at 2:30. It's her first day of kindergarten. I'm so excited to hear how it went. So I'm going to wrap up, and feel free to ask more questions if you want. Thanks for watching, you guys. And if you go to marypendleton.com, you can sign up to be a consultant there. All right? Bye.